We are now officially under 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. Brad Holmes getting ready to do what he does best, and that is get the Detroit Lions better. It's been the most exciting time of the year these past few seasons, and it's going to be another exciting one. And in this mock draft, my final mock draft, I was going to do one more, but I decided that this is my best one that I could come up with. So this will be my last one. It's got an exciting trade that I think you guys might like. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Starting off with the trade alert, I got the Eagles and the Lions trading. Lions giving up a first rounder and a sixth rounder this year, as well as a future second and sixth. In return, we will get Philadelphia's first rounder and 2024 second rounder as well. With their first round pick 22, I've got the Lions going after Kool-Aid McKinstry, a guy that I have had in literally like probably three of my five mock drafts, and it's for good reason. A lot of you seem to like Kool-Aid from the Lions fans I've talked to on Instagram. If you don't follow my Instagram, by the way, motorcitysports.313. A lot of them seem to think Kool-Aid is the guy to go first round. I don't think he's going to fall to 29. I think there's a chance he does, but if I had to take a guess right now, I don't think he'll be there. Kool-Aid McKinstry is the downfield coverage corner that we need. Physical, great tackler, a 3-year starter at Bama. We've seen how that's worked out with previous draft picks in Brian Branch. Kool-Aid McKinstry is the guy. He's the future corner that we need. We need more depth at the spot anyway, so that's why I think spending a first round pick on a guy like that would make sense, right? I think edge were actually pretty solid. I do think we could maybe use one more dominant edge, but I think that especially getting DJ Reader, I think it's going to help out a lot. But Kool-Aid McKinstry to me is my favorite overall prospect, and I think he's the guy we need to go after. Round 2, pick 50, I've got the Lions taking Keon Coleman. Now, if this guy were to fall into the second round, which I've seen mock drafts of him falling into the third round, which I think is just stupid, by the way. I think he should be a first round pick. I think the Bills need to snag him, but they could go after a guy like A.D. Mitchell or something like that. And this is a really, really deep receiver class. And Keon Coleman, he's not the fastest guy. That's one of his weaknesses, that he's a little slower, but he does have good top end speed. Keon Coleman is an athletic freak. I mean, watch this play right here. Whoop. He is a jump ball guy. He's the possessional guy that you can send out 10 yards downfield, get you a first down. He can replace Josh Reynolds and do even more because he's a red zone threat and he can do stuff like that. He is the best hands guy in the draft. Insane jump ball guy, and we need him. Round 2, pick 61. Zach Frazier, another very popular guy in my mock draft videos. I think this is the third time I've had him out of the 5, and it's for good reason. This is probably one of the best interior linemen in the entire draft. Most of you have said that I've had him mocked in my third rounds most of the time. Most of you have said that he's not going to fall there, and I agree. I don't think he'll fall there, but you have to take into account the fact that this year's offensive line class is so deep. You have so many good offensive linemen. You look at wide receivers, quarterbacks, cornerbacks, offensive line. Those are the 4 main positions of this draft. A guy like Zach Frazier is very likely to fall. Zach Frazier is a 4-time state champ wrestler. Great, great hand, like technique and just knowledge of the sport. He can play center or guard. More than likely, we'd probably throw him in at guard. We only have Zeitler on a 1-year deal. I think Glasgow's done after this year, but he could also be our center of the future and just a guy that I think we need to get on the Lions. Moving in round 3, pick 73, a guy who I haven't had on here yet, and that's Javon Bullard out of Georgia. Now, if you're not familiar with this guy, he's a safety, and he's a dog. Watch these highlights if you've never seen him. This is a guy who I'm really starting to become more and more interested in. The fact that we could get him third round would be pretty dang cool. Now, the safety position has come to worry me a little bit. If we were to re-sign Tracy Walker, I don't think we need to draft one. If we don't re-sign Tracy, I think you have to draft one because right now I like Brandon. By the way, Brandon Joseph, I really like him. I have high hopes for him, and he can be the perfect guy that comes in, plays for when if we have an injury, because it seems like safety is a spot we get injured at a lot. So Brandon Joseph could be that first guy off the bench, and I like that. But I do think we need one more guy and a guy for our future because Iffy might not re-sign him. Kirby, he's going into year 3 already. And it's just you're going to need depth at that spot either way because we get injured there a ton. I think this dude is a beast, a little bit on the smaller side, but it's just insane ball hawk and the best man coverage safety in the draft. Round 5, pick 163. This is my steal of the draft, and that's Dwight McGlothern. Kind of a hard name to say, but it's a fun one, out of Arkansas. And this is a LSU transfer. Transferred into Arkansas, had, I believe, yeah, that said 4 interceptions on the season. Had 8 in his career in the last 3 years, I should say, I guess. And he's a dog. He's a one of those glue guys that just is great in coverage. Now he isn't the best tackler. That's one thing that I have read is he's not the best tackler, and you can see right there, he likes to go for the ball. He's the guy that's trying to force turnovers, forces a ton of fumbles, and it can cause him to not tackle the guy. Now you can learn, you can get more disciplined come NFL. Dre Bly can get him right. And this is just a dude that you can get in the 5th round. It can be a complete steal. Maybe you bring up Stephen Gilmore this year. This guy goes down on the practice squad, or maybe he just kind of is on the bench. You get an injury, he comes in for a little bit. This will be your guy for the future that you can develop and be that hidden gem. Maybe who knows? Maybe he comes in this year and is automatically one of our top 3 corners and ends up being an absolute beast, which I think he will. Round 6, pick 205. Got Christian Boyd out of Northern Iowa. We're going to the FCS here. This is a guy who has been rising up draft boards from what I've been seeing. The Vikings have been looking at him heavily, and every single GM in the NFL has said and has looked at this guy and said that he has all the talent necessary to make it in the NFL. So his game is going to transition perfectly. He is very, very powerful. He's very strong, and he's going to be a dog if he does translate because of his size and his strength. That's what is going to make him into a great player. Now, some stuff, weaknesses about him, why he's, maybe isn't going to be a first round pick, is because he's not the most flexible yet. And he's also still getting, he's coming from the FCS, obviously. And he's also still kind of developing and, growing into his size and getting better at the position. He does, one thing I did see is that once he gets blocked, he doesn't have a go-to counter move, meaning that if he doesn't win right off the bat, he's not going to be able to get into the backfield. So he needs to kind of get like a counter move. It's going to help him out a lot. And this is a guy who I could see being a late round steal. And if you get him in the 6th round, I think it will be a steal and a great guy to have on the interior of that D line. The final pick of this draft, round 7, pick 249, we got Drake Nugent out of Michigan. Another one of those guys from that terrific O-line. I wouldn't mind having I would take any of those O-linemen. Any Michigan player, I think, will be very good. Now, I want those O-linemen because that O-line is just lethal. And you look at this dude, his first 4 clips, he's got like 4 pancakes. Look at him out there. He is just a beast. He's a little undersized, and that's the one kind of knock on him, the reason that he is projected this late in the draft. However, he is one of the most versatile and just high IQ players in college football. He was one of the leaders on that Michigan O line. Obviously, they had a ton of guys, Zach Zinter being one of them. And like I said, this is a dude who I think is. I've said this about every single player in this video, and that's because I believe it's true. I think he's going to be a beast in the NFL. He's going to be one of those late round steals. He does play center. He can be your backup center and maybe center of the future because Ragnar probably going to retire soon. Um, I really like Drake Nugent. I think that this is a guy who you could definitely get a steal as in the late rounds. That is going to do it for my mock drafts of 2024. I'm really hoping I get at least 2 or 3 picks right. But let's be honest. We're going to leave it up to Brad Holmes. We're going to let him do him because Brad Holmes is him. Let me know down in the comments. What's your favorite pick from this draft? What grade you'd give it? Who you want Brad Holmes to get? And let me know what you thought of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.